recording?
We are recording. And yeah. So welcome to the Project X podcast.
Episode number 1.
Episode number 1. Should we go 1A or just one?
Just
okay.
one.
Maybe one day our Phantom episode will make it out. But
yeah.
I'm Alan Smith. I used to write for Cinegeek, which later became CultureSmash.tv. I was also on their podcast for about 5.5 years. I hosted I'm doing all my credentials here. I co-hosted a show on Xbox Live for a year that was called Contract. I've done a few things.
You've done a thing or two.
A thing or two. But yeah, that's me. I'm Alan Smith, and I am with...
I'm Dave Crawford, and I'm basically just an all-around general AV geek. Gen Xer, film, music, video games...
all things that we hope to one day talk about on here. So,
but mainly, a lot of music and
yes, a lot of music, a lot of pop culture, both from the past and the present. But today we decided we're going to.
Well, it goes back to May 11th, 1994.
1994. That's right. That was when The Crow was released into theaters. Dave and I, when we were trying to come up with a topic, this was something that I was telling him. I was at work, we were texting each other, and one of the songs from the soundtrack, the song Big Empty by Stone Temple Pilots came on,
which was not the song that Stone Temple Pilots wanted on the soundtrack.
No, it wasn't. I know they had another one, but it was called
I forget what it was, but it was
something dying. I forget what it was.
It was a re-record that they did back when they were still Mighty Joe Young.
Yes, and with the tragic events around the movie, they decided that wouldn't be a very appropriate thing. But anyways, when we decided to do it, it's also one of those things that this is a movie. It's one of my favorite movies, and I legit mean like top 15 movies, somewhere in there.
I'll put mine in top 5.
Oh, okay. So you were a little. Depending on the day, it might break the top 10, but it's somewhere in that 10 to 15 for me.
I literally saw this thing 13 times in the theater.
Oh wow! Well, I saw it once in the theater,
and I quit at 13 because that seemed like the appropriate number to stop going to the theater seeing it.
It does. I think that. I think the only movie that I've seen that many or close to that many times in the theater was the original Star Wars. But we're not going to get off on the Star Wars rant here because we could go all night on that.
That's a rabbit hole of a different.
That is. But I did see. I did see this movie in the theaters. Not when it wasn't that early. It was a few months later. For all of you younger listeners, if there are younger listeners out there, used to movies would stay in the theaters for months and months and months, and before they even hit a second run theater, which second run theaters aren't really much of a thing anymore. Yeah. But I think I saw it it was during the summer of that. It was during that summer that I saw it. So
the reason I went to go see it is Rivergate 8,
which doesn't exist
anymore, did a special showing of one of the Faces of Death.
Oh wow, that's awesome! At
like midnight.
Faces of Death is something we need to talk about one of these days.
No, because it's so bad.
I know. Anyway,
they did a special showing at midnight or something, and they actually did run some credits and stuff in front of it, and the trailer for The Crow was one of them that showed, and the folks that I was with was like, oh, well, we should go see that. I was like, yeah, okay. And we went to go see it. And I was like, I'm going to go back and see that.
Yeah.
And then it turned into, 13 times back when movies were $6.50 a pop.
Yeah. Oh, those were the days.
Yeah.
$6.50 and that was not matinee price. That was Friday night
time.
at 7:00. That was prime time. Matinee you could get in for about $5, I think.
Well, like $4.50.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah. So. But yeah, I guess we should actually talk about the movie a little bit. I will say this: I did not see it 13 times in the theater. However, when it came to home video, because this was in the days before DVD or Blu-ray or streaming or any of that stuff, I received it as a Christmas present from a friend in '96. So it obviously I'd seen it multiple times prior to that, but I received it as a Christmas present. And Dave and I have known each other a long time. Dave knows that I used to have horrible, horrible problems with insomnia. I used to fall asleep watching that movie almost every night. I mean, for months I watched that movie.
Yeah,
at bedtime, and kind of a little bit obsessed with the movie.
I promise you, I think I could probably quote it in my sleep.
I have seen you quote it in your sleep before. There's a story. Yeah, we will tell that story.
I don't think I know that.
Yeah, you do. This is, again, going back. But let's talk about the movie before we get into more of our personal anecdotes on it and stuff. The Crow is based, like I said, it was released in May 11th of 1994.
That was the movie.
It was starring Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
In case you don't know, Brandon Lee tragically died on the set while they were filming, or he didn't die he was shot while they were filming on the set and then died later at the hospital.
And there's a story about that too.
There is. I guess probably the only other person of real note in this movie is Ernie Hudson.
Oh, that's not exactly true.
Well, I mean, of names that you may know. Let's put it that way.
Okay, general folks.
Okay, because there's Bai-Ling is in this, which she's been in a lot of stuff.
Michael Wincott
is in this.
Massey was in it.
Yes, again, but all bit actors.
Candyman's in it.
Yes, Tony Todd is in. I know that's again very genre specific, type stuff.
I know, I'm a geek.
But yeah, no, I mean, of course, it's kind of the same thing with Ernie Hudson, Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest thing he's known from. But then this,
Yeah.
The Crow started as a comic book.
James
O'Barr, which I have graphic, the collected edition of it here. It was released on, I think it was by Caliber, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right.
Caliber Comics in 1989. It was written after his fiance was killed by a drunk driver. And she was, I think the story is she was walking down the street and got hit, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right,
I think
but
that's
don't
about
quote
right.
me on it.
And he wrote the story. To deal with all of it, he wrote this.
That was part of it, but he also combined it with another tragic story. He had read a story about a couple that had been murdered over like a $30 engagement ring or wedding ring or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he took the two stories and wound them together.
Okay. There are a lot of Joy Division.
Oh, it was heavily.
This book, all the chapters are like Joy Division, song titles. And
he was a very big fan of Joy Division, The Cure, Jesus and Mary Chain.
Yes, which some of these wind up on the soundtrack,
And a lot of them are, remakes by the band.
Yes, absolutely. It initially, just to get some the stuff out of the way on it, it was a moderate success at the box office. I think it made about $50 million or something like that.
Yes, $50 million.
There were some sequels. We will say that there was the first sequel came in '96. It's called The Crow City of Angels. The next one was
Get out the Magic Witch Box.
Well, I'm trying to remember. The next one was a few years later,
after City of Angels.
Yeah, City of Angels came out in '96, and then there was, what were the other two? There were 5 movies. There's 5 of them in total, counting the original movie.
Hold on.
The last one I know is called The Crow Wicked Prayer.
You had The Crow. You had Crow Salvation. You had Crow Wicked Prayer.
And what was the other one? Salvation is the third one. The funny thing about it is that these movies have named actors in them.
City of Angels, Salvation, Wicked Prayer. And then the television series, which was Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, but no, there's another movie also. Shoot, I don't know.
Which, when they released City of Angels, they actually commissioned somebody to write a novelized version of the movie that came out before the movie.
It's probably better than the movie.
And, what I'm going to say is I was working at a bookstore at the time and bought it. I have no idea where it's at now. But the book was way, way better than the movie.
Yeah. Apparently, the movie suffered incredibly from studio interference. edits like that on the end of it, because it literally is one of those things that
it got completely re-edited.
Yeah,
and
it
the
makes
director,
no sense
the director
whatsoever.
and the cinematographer walked away from the project and orphaned it.
Yeah.
Because they were so unhappy with the way what Pressman did to it.
Yes, I mean it's rough.
Screw you,
yeah,
Pressman.
It's pretty rough. I will say this: the soundtrack's pretty good, though. That's the City of Angels.
How can it not have a great soundtrack?
I know.
I mean, Iggy Pop was in
Iggy
it.
Pop's on it, but I'll tell you,
who was considered for the original person to play Funny Boy.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
and I can see that. You can see it in.
Well, Massey said in interviews that he actually dressed in Iggy Pop style clothing and tried to mimic his fashion after
the
Iggy Pop for the role.
Let's see, what was the guy's name? Was it Massey?
Yeah, Michael Massey.
Michael Massey, who died 2 years ago or 3 years ago
of stomach cancer.
Yes,
which, if you want to get into the curse of the movie.
Well, but here's the thing: he was the one that actually shot the gun that killed. Frank,
yeah,
that had
shot him in the abdomen.
Yeah, and
the bullet lodged in his spine.
Right, and he had a lot of problems after that with substance abuse issues and stuff, and
took a complete year off from acting.
Yeah,
after
I think he became a photographer, if I'm not mistaken. Like, it was a thing that he became after. Like, he kind of went away from acting for a while, and I would have to dig more into his story, but I do remember, like, when he died, seeing people like, oh, the Crow actor, and that it was him.
Fans basically brutalized him.
Yeah. And it wasn't his fault.
No, it wasn't his fault. It was.
I remember at the time, like, after it happened, because that was like a big story.
Yeah.
Because it happened almost a full year before.
Yeah.
Because they had to go in and do some cover up of how we going to do this.
No, it was more than that.
Yeah,
and
this was in the early days of CGI, you know, and you can tell in some places they did a pretty good job, especially considering this was 1993 when they were doing all of it. So.
Of course, they had to get his stunt double, body double, to come in and cover it, and that's pretty much the entire front half of the movie where you don't see his face. Everything in the apartment where he's putting on the grease makeup and all that was the body double.
Right. And there are, when you watch this movie, you'll notice after he's resurrected, you don't see his face quite a bit. You'll see him walking in shadows, or his hair will be down in front of his eyes or something like that. Like, every bit of that is stunt double.
What a lot of people don't realize is they had actually gone in and made a cast of Brandon Lee's face at one point to actually mold like a mask or something else, and they'd made a full latex mask of his face, I guess, to do makeup tests and all that on.
Right.
And they were actually going to use that on the body double to cover the scenes that they had to go in and reshoot. And it so disturbed everybody on set. That's when they destroyed the mask and they went with the CGI part.
Oh, wow. Wow. I had not heard that story before. So, but yeah, it's in watching, Dave and I both watched this movie last night, not together, but
no, him in his house,
at my house,
at my house.
I could make that even worse. It's like, I was laying in bed watching this last night. Dave and I watched it together. But
my wife would not appreciate
I know she would not appreciate that. Anyway, but I was watching it, and some of the special effects don't hold up.
Well,
I mean, I know we're talking about something that was 25 years ago.
We're talking 93, 94, the beginning of CGI.
Right.
The budget issues.
There were budget issues. You can also tell it's supposed to take place in Detroit. Yeah. It feels like you're on a set. It does not. I mean,
that's because the entire city was miniatures.
Yes, I noticed that quite a bit, that there was a lot of miniature work on this thing. So.
Every flyover you see of the city, it's miniature shots, and then they blended in the set pieces with the miniatures, to make it look like he's running across the roofs.
But I will say this. The overall feel of the movie, like the what's the word I'm looking for? I guess the feel of the movie is great, because it's one of those things. There's one scene where you see the sun. Yes.
Yeah,
when,
you're right.
When Sarah goes to after she's seen Eric, she goes to, because she's like, no, he's supposed to be dead. So she goes to the graveyard, and you can see the sun a little bit. Like you don't see it directly, but you can see sunlight coming through. That's the only time you ever see sunlight in this thing. Most of it takes place at night. Yeah, it happens over a 2-day period, 2 or 3 day period, something like that.
3 day.
I think it's 3. It's Devil's Night and Halloween.
Well, he comes back the day before Devil's Night, and there's some continuity issues in the movie
a little bit
because of it.
Right.
But he comes back the day before Devil's Night. There's
Devil's Night, and then Halloween's when he goes back. So I guess it really takes place over about a 48-hour. I know it's hard because
it may only be 2 days.
Because here's the thing: he comes back.
It may only be 2 days.
He comes back. Then, all right, let's see if we get this right. He comes back. He goes after
10-10 first.
He goes after 10-10 first, and 10-10 says Halloween's not until Manana, which is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So you got like, okay, well, the Devil's Night is supposed to be the night before
Halloween.
Okay.
That's the 30th.
But the whole day passes.
And Gideon's blows up, and the cops pulling up go, it's a little early for Devil's Night.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a couple little continuity. Like, wait, what's going on
here? And I
think
some of that was due to the re-editing.
Yeah,
of
and
the
also
movie
we
after.
also know that it's actually Halloween because remember when after he's been shot, he's walking down the alley like trying to get back, and you see the kids in Halloween costumes that are coming through. And so, yeah, I mean, there's a few continuity issues, but it's I guess we should tell the story of what it actually is. Okay, so basically,
I'm sorry, I feel like at this point, if most people doesn't know,
in case, let me give a quick rundown. Basically, what happens: Eric Draven and Shelley Webster are engaged to be married. Eric Draven is a rock and roll singer. Shelley Webster is an artist of some sort. They are living in a really bad neighborhood in Detroit. They're trying to get they're basically fighting eviction. And so the person who owns which turns out to be Top Dollar, who owns the tenement, sends his gang to come and take care of the situation. They break in, they assault her.
No, let's not be gentle about it.
They gang rape her is what happens.
They cut her up, they beat her, they rape her.
And then Eric comes home and
in the middle of it,
they kill him, basically throw him out the window. They shoot him,
they stab him.
They stab him, then they shoot him, then they throw him out the window.
Throw him out a window 6
stories down.
Yeah.
And 1 year later, Eric is resurrected by a crow.
Well, his spirit is brought back.
His spirit's brought back by a crow. Well, he actually is the resurrection because they show him coming up out of the grave.
Yeah.
And in later when, what's Tony Todd's character?
Creed.
Is it Creed? Is that what it is? Anyways, when he goes, Grange.
You're right.
When he goes to check
I don't know
out,
why I said Creed.
I don't either.
That was weird.
When he goes to check out
it could be the pain meds.
It could be.
Full disclosure, I blew out. I messed up my knee, and
Dave's flying high for this.
I may or may not be on legal prescribed pain pills.
Acquired legally.
Acquired legally through a doctor.
Anyway, so when Grange goes to check out this whole thing, he finds the coffin, everything upset, so it's he actually is resurrected. Anyways, he's brought back for revenge, and he finds out that he is indestructible. He still feels pain.
Yeah.
You see that quite a bit, but he's pretty much indestructible. And so he goes on a killing spree to avenge his and Shelley's deaths. That ends once he's done, then he goes back to the grave. And
well, he's supposed to.
He does, because the thing is that the other movies are not Eric Draven. They're all different characters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing of the spirit of the crow bringing people back.
Yeah.
So
interesting fact.
Okay.
Where this one was before Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
With Devil's Night, City of Angels happens Halloween and
yes,
after.
It does. Yes, it does. Happens on Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's true. Still doesn't make it a good movie. But yeah, it's true. And what's funny is the other I've seen the other two, Salvation and whatever that other one is.
I think I've seen the one where the guy gets
you were asking about electrocute. Yeah,
the electric chair, and then he comes back. And
let's see which one. I think that's Wicked
One
Prayer.
of them had Edward Furlong
Yes.
of Terminator 2 fame, which of course did not make it a good movie.
No. That one is Wicked Prayer.
Oh,
Edward Furlong. Oh, check out this cast. Tara Reid. Okay. David Boreanaz.
yeah.
Okay. I'm a big Angel fan, so Edward Furlong, Emmanuel Cricri,
Okay.
Danny Trejo.
I like Danny Trejo. I
do
did not
too.
like this movie.
Where's
Danny
the other one?
Trejo
Hold
has
on.
been in some spectacular
Here you go.
B-rated movies, though.
Macy Gray is in it. Remember her?
Not
The
really.
singer? Oh yeah, you do.
Oh, yeah.
Dennis Hopper is in that movie.
I'm sorry. You say Dennis Hopper, all I can think of is his character in Waterworld.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Anyways, but that one, that's the fifth one. I cannot for the life of me figure. All right, I'm going to have to keep going. Anyway, the one, Salvation, which was the third one. Let me pull it up here because I think, yes. Okay, so this one, Eric Mabius plays the Crow in this one. Character actor Mabius, Mabius.
Okay.
Did some stuff in the early 2000s, you know.
Okay.
He was in Cruel Intentions and Resident Evil and Welcome to the Dollhouse, and one of those faces you're like, oh, it's that guy. You know, he's one of those dudes. I'm trying to see what else he was on back then. He was on Millennium, which is a show that I would like to cover at some point because I love that show.
I'll be honest, I've never seen it.
Oh, you're such a treat. Anyway, Kirsten Dunst is in that movie.
Ew.
Here's the thing. He was accused of killing someone that he didn't, and so he comes back for the revenge. It's actually a decent movie. It's better than City of Angels. I know that's not saying a whole lot, but it's actually a decent movie until the very close to the end of it, and they're in the final fight, and Kirsten Dunst is there, you know, all this kind of stuff, and the bad.
Yeah, because she's always in the
Yeah.
way. Every movie
Well,
she's in,
no,
she's always in the way.
This gets terrible. They're in the middle of the fight, all the stuff's going on, blah blah blah, and then the bad guy kind of gets the upper hand, and they have that dramatic moment of, you know, when I'm done, you know, I'm gonna kill you too, and blah blah blah, and you see maybe it's this Crow rising up or whatever behind, and she goes, "Oh, you're so dead."
Like I said, she's always in the way. It doesn't matter
As soon
what movie
as
she's
soon as she
in.
said that line, I was like, "And I am out." That's it. It was I was with it up until right then, and it's no.
give me a movie where Kristen Dunst hasn't been in the way.
Bring It On.
I'm embarrassed for you that you've even seen that.
I own that movie. Thank you very much. Yes, I do. It's a terrible movie, but it's fun just because it's so bad.
You bought a cheerleader movie.
Yes, I own all of those movies. Not all the Bring It On movies, but all those late 90s, early 2000s teen comedy, drama, whatever, horror movies. I do.
That was not a horror movie. That was a straight up.
Well, one, but in that those teen movies, that and Scream and you know, I Know What You Did Last Summer and Cruel Intentions and Urban Legends, and I own all of those movies, man.
Okay,
American Pie, all of those.
I Know What You Did Last Summer was not a great movie. That soundtrack was actually
great.
really good.
We need to really do a sound just talking about soundtracks.
Yeah.
It's 90s soundtracks. Anyway, before we get off on a tangent here, because we will.
It's always a tangent.
I can't remember the other one. There's another one that there was another one of those movies, and then Wicked Prayer. None of them are great. The TV show. Okay.
I refuse to watch it. when I saw it was Eric Draven coming back a year later after he'd already gone back to the grave, I was like, I'm out.
Here's the thing. I caught a couple episodes of it when it was actually airing in '99. I think it was. It was after, like, they're like, oh, we can go back and we can do this. Kadeem Hardison, Dwayne Wade from Different World, is in it, and he's actually, like, I think he's supposed to be the spirit of the crow, rather than having like an actual crow. Like, he's the one, it's like kind of guiding him through all this stuff.
So they basically made a combo of the crow and the Skull Cowboy.
Yeah. But here's the thing. They do some retconning in this thing where he goes back, like he does come, but it's one of those things where there is one episode, like one of them that I saw, where it goes back to the night that all this is happening. And he's actually standing outside the door of the apartment as all the stuff's happening, and almost goes in to, like, stop it. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, no, don't go back and, like, try to tell a story that we already know. Because for one thing, they talk about no budget. This thing looks like it was, like, shot in somebody's house. I mean,
well, it probably was.
Yeah, I mean, it's
probably shot on somebody's house.
Yeah.
What year was it?
99.
Probably shot on a Panasonic 100B.
98, 99.
In that, back when 24p first came out on that one Panasonic 100B, which was a great little camera. I used it myself and actually mixed footage with it with like some Super 16 at one point.
Yeah. So it's one of those. It's not good. I couldn't get past like those, and it was one of those things that I was.
Anybody but Brandon Lee doing
and
Eric Draven is not gonna work.
The guy that they had playing him was not. No, I will tell you this much: that in that episode, we actually do get to see Hangman's Joke play.
Really?
Yeah. It's not really that good.
Well, you could tell that from the original song on the first movie.
I can't rain all the time. Can't rain all the time. Can't rain all the time.
Glad that they didn't do that version on the soundtrack. I'm glad it was the Jane Siberry.
That is on, and it's not that song. That's a whole different song. But if you get the other, because there's two soundtracks. There's the soundtrack and there's the original score.
Which I own both.
Yeah, and on that original score, that is on there.
Yeah, but it's only like a piece.
Yeah,
of it.
but that's all that you hear in the movie too. It's just a little where it. You
get where they diamond out of the guitar solo and come back into the chorus, and then it does the record skip.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, it's such a good movie. And here in a minute we're going to talk about the comic a little bit because there's some differences.
Major differences.
But I mean, like. Yeah, there are some differences.
Yeah.
The movie itself, I think, it's one of those things that, people of our generation especially kind of latched onto it because of the tragedy around it. That's what people associate more than anything is Brandon Lee's death, and I understand that because the two are like forever locked together.
Well, it's not just a tragedy; it was the whole feel of that movie.
Right,
it kind of felt like the way the '90s were. You know, it felt like everything was dark and kind of coming to an end, and everything was used up. And what was the point?
You have to also remember the climate at the time. This came out a year after Waco happened.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, because Waco happened in '93. It was in.
I completely forgot.
Yeah,
that was.
And so this came out like the year after that. We're in the mid '90s. Nine Inch Nails released The Downward Spiral that year.
Yeah, which was a great album.
Soundgarden had released Super Unknown right around that time.
Was that 93?
93, 94, yeah.
I was thinking
94.
Super Unknown was.
No,
I guess you're right.
What was Bad Motorfinger came out in 91. At the end of 91. That's a great album.
When it comes to Soundgarden, that album and earlier is what I listen to Soundgarden wise.
But I mean, you just think about like some of that music. Of course, the Downward Spiral. I mean, that
Downward Spiral. Yeah.
And the thing
You
is,
had some of the Marilyn Manson stuff
I
come
think,
out.
yeah,
Was that,
Portrait of an American Family was released that year because they toured together. Hole had, Kurt Cobain, this in '94, Kurt Cobain had just died.
Yeah.
Hole had just released Live Through This.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where you start looking at, like, what's going on. Woodstock 94 happened that year. I mean, I know, but that one was better than what came later.
Yeah.
But
Thanks, Limp Bizkit.
yeah, and a lot of other bands. But it was one of those things where it really is kind of the perfect movie for them. You know what else came out that year? Clerks and Pulp Fiction were both released that year.
Really?
Yes, in '94. So it's like you look at '94,
93, 94.
in that
I had just graduated high school in 93.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where I was in college. It was one of those things where it was
We
like I was
were
playing in
both
a
at
band. That's when we met. Was in '94. Yeah, that's when I was.
No,
playing.
it was before
No,
that because we were still in high. Was
that
it 94?
was when. Yeah, that's when I was playing with Tony and that
that's
band.
true. Yeah,
And and it was one of those things. Yeah, and it was one of those things where it was. The time was right for this movie to come out.
Yeah,
and it really, there are movies that probably better, like Clerks, that better encapsulate that Gen X, that early 20-something, malaise of what am I going to do with my life and
politics
everything.
were in upheaval. The world was in upheaval.
That was the year that the Democrats lost Congress completely for the first time.
Music was in upheaval. Art was in upheaval.
It was, that was the whole heroin chic was a big thing. I mean, it was a.
There's arguments that this movie gave birth to mall goths.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first.
Absolutely.
It's the first movie I remember seeing where you had multiple joint finger rings.
Oh, absolutely.
Where you had a ring that covered the whole finger with the point on it.
I know exactly. I mean, it's one of those things that it really did. Because I remember a couple of years earlier, whenever who was it? What was the director that did Dracula?
Coppola.
Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola did that. And I remember when that came out, people talking about this is going to, like, fashion-wise, this is going to do a lot with fashion. And it didn't really. It didn't. And then Nightmare Before Christmas came out.
You saw a little bit of that high fashion goth come out. Of course, you already had the original goths.
Right. Well, that's, again, going back to Joy Division.
You're going back to
The Cure.
Bauhaus. Joy Division.
Exactly.
Jesus and Mary Chain. All of that.
A little bit. You got some of that stuff that was already bubbling.
It was already bubbling. And the only store around that you could really get gear for that group was, at the time, Spencer's.
A little bit. We had a local place called Karma. You remember?
I vaguely remember that.
They're still around, but it's not the same, But that was that mid-'90s. This is, the culture. I was getting ready to look because Hot Topic came about somewhere around. It was
shortly after this.
Yeah,
it was shortly after this. You had Hot Topic, and then all of a sudden you had all the mall, the classic
mall goth. Yeah, I know it's
mall goth stuff. The
Hot Topic
pants.
is one of those things. It's like. They were mall goth, and they were mall punk, and then they were mall whatever. I don't know what they are.
And now they're high-end Spencer's.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that was that. I'm not gonna lie. Hot Topic was one of my favorite stores.
Oh, in the beginning, I loved it. Yeah, I worked there for a little while.
But the reason I went there wasn't for the goth stuff. I was actually buying that 50 chic bowling shirts, Vegas style bowling shirts.
Yeah, when those things had come. Yeah,
where you had the bowling shirts with like the flames on it and like the
snake
skin on it. And
Yeah,
I went through a snakeskin phase.
Yeah, folks. We all did. We all have those embarrassing things we talk about. So we try not to talk about. Hell, I went through a goth spade.
How many leather trench coats have you had at this point?
A couple. Yeah. I don't own any more, but I did at one point. I had grown my hair out long and dyed it black, and I was really into Typo Negative, and some of those other. Marilyn Manson was a big that I was into.
Typo,
and
though? Come on.
And it's one of those things that, which again, we can get into the. Sorry, I'm actually looking to see what year Hot Topic opened.
He's picked up the Magic Witch box again, folks.
Yes.
I believe his is made by iPhone.
Wow. Hot Topic was started in 1988.
88?
88.
Yeah, but it wasn't nationwide at that
No,
point.
it was West Coast. It was completely wet. It started in California and L.A.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I didn't even know that. So they've been around 30 years.
Yeah, but it didn't hit here until...
Oh, it's not. Yeah, 97.
97?
97. They one of the malls, local malls, got it all of a sudden. It's like, what is this?
Oh, it's Hickory Hollow.
Hickory Hollow. That doesn't no longer exists around here. So
Okay, for those of you who are listening who aren't local, you're getting a whole lot of Nashville
lore, yes,
lore.
from 90s or 80s, 90s, and
Yeah, because I moved here in like 90, 91, and you've been here your whole life.
I've been here my entire life.
You're a unicorn.
No, I'm a Sasquatch. Every time that someone says, "Oh, you're a unicorn," I'm like, no, I am a Sasquatch.
For those of you who don't know, Nashville is one of those cities that's very transient.
No one's from here.
Nobody's from here. Alan happens to be from here.
Yes. There are 5 of us that are actually from here. We have meetings. We talk about you. So
actually, my wife is a unicorn.
Yeah.
She was born over at Old Baptist.
Our friend Andy is from here.
Yeah,
I mean that's
he's
one of the very
Andy, you're a unicorn.
Oh, wait a second. No, Corey's from Oklahoma originally, isn't he?
His family's originally from Oklahoma.
Is he from here?
I can't remember if he's from here. We've gone
Again,
way
we're
off
talking about
topic.
people
Yeah.
that no one knows who they are.
Sorry, folks. We
but see,
slip off.
that's the thing. Again, like to end the tangent. If you're in Nashville, more than likely most of the people that you know are not from here. That is,
Welcome to Nashville.
Yeah.
Now y'all go home.
Y'all go home, exactly. Anyway, but yeah, it really did. It hit. To use another cliche, it hit the zeitgeist in a certain way, kind of like A Nightmare Before Christmas did. Which,
Look at my mantle.
oh, I know, I see right there.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of this. But
Get out.
I am a big fan of Beetlejuice, though. And that was one of the first, like, the Lydia character.
Yeah.
Was, it's like, hey, this is what, I was, let's see, when did Beetlejuice come out? 88, 87, 88, 86?
Sounds
somewhere
right.
in there.
Somewhere in there.
And it was kind of one of those, like, who is this person? Why am I so attracted to her? It was like, and it was
You've got a
look.
type.
I do kind of have a type a little bit, but so it's that whole. It was just that aesthetic of it's dark and that kind of stuff. So in the mid '90s, when we were in our 20s somewhere, I used to people would come over to the house and we'd sit around and drink beer and and it was a lot of us that were, like I said, a couple of us were in our early 20s, but then there were also some teenagers that were hanging out with us.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, whatever. And we actually watched The Crow one night. There was a whole bunch of us over there, and Dave fell asleep on the couch.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about now.
I think I remember this story.
And so we're sitting there and we're watching the movie, and then like certain lines, all of a sudden, like there's this line, whenever when he kills Tintin on the very beginning of it, he goes to stab him, and he says, "Victims, aren't we all?" And like that line comes on, all of a sudden we hear Dave like echoing it perfectly in the back. It's like, "Victims, aren't we all?" And I like turn around looking at him and was like, he's asleep. Like his eyes were completely closed. Like, what the hell, And so a little bit later, the whole "it can't rain all the time" line, and Dave's like, "Can't rain all the time." I'm like, what the hell? And so, a little bit later in the movie, all of a sudden Dave gets up and like walks into the kitchen and goes to the refrigerator and grabs a beer.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. And this is what happened. He went in there, he grabbed a beer, and then he went into the very front of the house and sat down in a chair where there was nobody. There was no TV. There was no nothing. And he's just sitting there holding the beer, asleep. And so I go in there. Me and another guy go in there. We're like, "Dave, give me the beer." And like trying to pry it out of his hand. I'm like, "Dave, you don't even drink." He's like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Come on." And so I went and put him in my parents' bed. They were out of town. That's what it was. And I put Dave in my parents' bed. I was like, "Just lay down, whatever." So we walked back in there. About 15 minutes later, he comes walking back into the living room. He's like, "What am I doing in the bed?"
I'd forgotten about that. Yes.
And we had to tell him like everything that he had just done. He was like, "Oh, great."
Yes, I'm a notorious sleepwalker, talker. My wife still has problems with it.
So, and that's 20 plus years ago, and still
Yeah.
remember that story.
Okay, so I can quote the movie in my sleep.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that goes back to you can quote the movie in your sleep. Along with, there were some other lines. It wasn't just those two, but those were the two memorable ones because they were like, what in the world, Let me talk about the comic book a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's some differences, like in the movie, there's a character named Skank.
Doesn't exist in the comic book.
Actually is in the comic book, but is a very small character. There's another character called Tom Tom
Yeah.
that they put them together
Yeah.
in the movie because there's another character named Tintin.
Yeah.
So it was have a Tom Tom and a Tintin.
That's
Same
gonna be confusing.
thing in the book. In the comic, because
you had
the little girl's name
Sarah.
is Sarah, but in the
the
book
comic
her
is
name's Sherry, and you have Shelley is Eric's fiance. And also another thing,
Well, that's the same in the movie.
yeah, no, what I'm saying, but
Yeah.
they changed her name to Sarah because Sherry and
Shelley
are too close together. Also another thing, neither one of the characters have last names in this. It's just Eric and Shelley.
I've actually never read the comic.
Yeah.
I just know what I've
No.
read about it online.
In the book, he's just referred to as Eric. There is no Draven. And she's just referred to as Shelley. There's no Webster. Those were made for the movie. That way,
yeah.
which Draven's a great last name. I'm sorry, that's a rock and roll name if I ever heard Eric Draven. It's
Yeah. From what I understand, they also downplayed Eric's drug use in the movie.
yes.
Because
He
was
is a heroin addict
Yeah.
in this. Also, the character of
Top Dollar in the comic book, from what I understand, is not the head guy.
no, he's not.
T-Bird is the head guy.
Right, and they switched that up in the movie.
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong, but Top Dollar was like some kind of low-level drug dealer or
Yes,
something.
he was. He also, in the book, kind of has a redemption arc.
Really?
Yes. Of when... I think that's the character. One of the characters has a redemption arc of sort. He still gets killed. Spoiler. But it's one of those things where, like, when Eric comes for him, he talks about how he has regret for what he did. That it was, he said, he basically gives the whole speech of, I know I'm still going to die, but I just want you to know that I do have regret for, which you get a little bit of that with T-Bird. It's not, but it's not sincere. It's not sincere, but he says it when they're in the car in the movie.
He's
and
just trying to get out of
and he
it.
says, "I am sorry for what happened to you." Well, even Top Dollar, like at the end of it, whenever they're fighting on the roof, and he says, "I am," he said, "I am sorry for what happened to you and your girl, but to let you know, but
I'm the one who cleared that building.
I'm the one that cleared that building." And he said, "If it makes you feel any better, you brought a smile to my face."
Yeah.
Because that's something. Let's talk about that real quick. Top Dollar has got some, like, he seems like he's depressed through this entire movie. Like, it's like he rose all the way to the top,
And there's nothing
and
else
there's
to have.
nothing else whatsoever. And
It's kind of the guy who got everything.
right. And you see him, like, there's a, early on, like, him and his sister, which we never find out if they're
Stepsister.
yeah. He says she's my father's daughter, right, and they have enjoyed a woman together, which she winds up dead,
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, you see him sitting on the bed next to the corpse, and he's just like,
I think we broke her.
yeah, I know, but he's just like, there's like no joy in him whatsoever. You see him, like,
Well,
with
there's-
mountains of cocaine, and he's doing them. There's no joy in it.
Well,
When
there's no emotion there at all.
no. I mean,
there is literally no emotion. The only emotion you really see is when he kills Gideon.
Yes.
He's like, won't you die already?
Yeah, I know.
He gets a little angry that he's not dying quick enough.
Right. He has a couple of lines in it that I really like when he shoots the bird, when he shoots the crow. He's like, "Let me do a quick impression for you." Bang! Fuck, I'm dead.
No, it's bang, caw.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
It's just like
My favorite line from Top Dollar in the whole movie is when Tony Todd's character. I can't.
Gage.
Gage. Grange. Grange looks at me and goes, yeah, he had a guitar, and then he jumped out a 4-story window like he had wings.
Mm-hmm.
And Top Dollar goes, he winked at you?
Mm-hmm.
Musicians.
I know.
I went,
yeah, I know. Yep, that's about right.
Especially guitar players.
Yeah, shut up. Anyway, but it's one of those things where obviously when I saw the movie, the whole Eric Draven character was like, oh, he's so blah, blah, blah. The more times I watched the movie as I got older, Top Dollar became like, that's the interesting character. It's kind of like with Batman and the Joker. You're brought in by Batman, but after you like read for a while, you're like, no, the Joker is the interesting character here. It's like I've heard people who, professional like actors, like Broadway and stuff like that, talk about playing like the Jesus Christ Superstar. Like people like, oh yeah, the role in that, to play Jesus is the one. They're like, no. Judas is the character to play in this movie. In this, same thing with that one and Godspell both.
Well,
and
people
it's like
are drawn to broken people for some reason,
trying to figure out what makes this character tick. And it's one of those things that all throughout the movie, you've got Officer Albrecht, trying to figure out what's is it Albrecht or Albright? Albrecht, okay. And he's chasing him down, but he's always like not really trying that hard, especially after he figures out what's going on, because he's like, well, this guy's doing what we can't type thing,
Classic vigilante
exactly
movie.
But that's the whole thing when you have with the detective that's giving him crap the whole way through it. He's like, we got this vigilante killer, we got it, blah 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 blah. But it's one of those things where like that's the difference. Like he has zero qualms whatsoever with killing people, none whatsoever. It's like, no, I'm back for revenge. I'm not here for justice. I am here for revenge.
Yeah.
And that is something that you don't see in a lot of heroes, what are supposed to be heroes, and because you have a Batman who won't kill.
Yeah.
Or different, I'll name one, other than the Punisher, he's not really a hero.
He's more of an anti-hero.
Right. But it's just one of those things where it's like, no, I'm back here for this. Stay out of my way so you don't wind up,
in
the same thing. But at the same time, you see, the affection that he has for Sarah.
Well, for Sarah and for Albrecht.
Yeah,
because,
exactly.
He knows that Albrecht tried to help and couldn't do anything.
Exactly. And Albrecht winds up being the person who gave him what he needed to,
survive.
And
here's the other thing that kind of interests me. I saw an interview with Brandon Lee at one point who talked about this. When he first gets resurrected and comes out of the grave, the amount of confusion of what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And you see him go from almost complete madness at the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
Start to have his thoughts clarified towards the end. The madness starts to fade away.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite scenes is when he breaks into Fun Boys and he's kind of playing with the light bulb.
Yeah, he's running his head around the light bulb and he's like, he's an agent of chaos at that point.
Yeah.
Which again, the whole like, look what you did to my sheets. It's like there's some great comic moments in it.
You've got rage, you've got madness,
right.
You've got confusion, and towards the end it starts to clear up.
Right. He's very, very calm by the time you get to the end of it, and I can see that 100%. Let's talk about the soundtrack.
We didn't really get to the comic book much.
Well, I just wanted to. That's the differences. That's the difference. One of the other things.
You're going to leave that here tonight.
Yes,
right?
you are. Yeah,
okay.
You're more than welcome to it.
Thanks.
The other thing with the comic book, as heartbreaking as the movie is, the comic book gets there so much more, because all through it, there are these scenes where he's sitting, and of course, he's pining over Shelley and everything that happened, and really like reliving that kind of stuff. And as he starts to play it back in his mind, the Crow talks to him and says, "Don't do it. You know how this ends. You know what's going to happen. Type stuff." But then there are other parts where he's going through that, and the Crow's kind of like, "Why are you doing this? Why don't you just get over it and go do what you have to?" It's kind of a partly a don't do it because you know how this is going to end. You know you're just torturing yourself, and other parts of it are kind of this dude, just man up and let's go do this thing, you know. But it really is that because it just, you know, there are these, the way that it's drawn and, you know, like the way that it's laid out and stuff. It's just these heartbreaking scenes over and over again inside his head, watching it all happen over and over and over, and he can't stop it, and, you know, type. So yeah. Anyways, soundtrack. So
soundtrack.
Let's talk about the soundtrack. I have to say, because I re-listened to, I had not listened to it in a while. The Cure's "Burn" is really good.
Oh yeah,
really good. Machines of Love and Grace's "Golgotha Tenement Blues," really good.
Yeah, love that one.
Big Empty, Stone Temple Pilots, probably my favorite Stone Temple Pilots song, and it's good because, again, that mid-90s, you know,
yeah.
Nine Inch Nails cover of Dead Souls, Joy Division song, cool. Great, I like it.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it is.
And then you get,
and then it starts falling apart.
Well, you got Rage Against the Machine,
which I did not like. This it sticks out like a sore thumb. Of one of these things is not like the rest of this.
This is going to be heresy to a lot of people. I'm not a big Rage Against the Machine fan.
I like them. They're okay.
There's 3 or 4 songs I like,
right, yeah,
and the rest of it I could take or leave.
Mm-hmm.
This
song is not. I didn't like
Darkness. It was like they were looking for something for filler,
right?
And they went, "Oh, well, here's a song named Darkness."
Here's another one. This Violent Femme song, completely out of place on this thing.
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't really think so.
Man, I couldn't even get through it.
Did you go and look at the scene where the song's at?
I don't know. I don't even remember where it was. So.
I'm sorry. I love this song.
Okay.
I think.
And don't get me wrong. I like Violent Femmes.
If I remember right, it's in the pit. The bar.
Is it?
If I remember right, it's in the pit. It's where the bar where the gang hangs out.
Yeah.
Not the trash club.
Right.
Not the club underneath Top Dollars. It was the pit where Darla worked at.
Yeah,
I think it was one of the songs on the jukebox in the background.
Okay.
And for me, it kind of fit the scene.
Okay.
I already liked the song. When I heard it in the movie, I was like, perfect.
Okay. It didn't land for me. This Rollins Band song did not land for me.
Also
either.
A cover.
Yes.
I can't remember the
I forget
band.
Who it was actually about Ghost Rider, the comic book character, which is cool.
Yeah, but in the movie you barely hear it.
Right.
Because it's in the scene when they're at the table, and I think it's just Top Dollar and Micah. I forget who else.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like it's coming in from the club downstairs.
Okay. All right.
You barely hear it. The Badge from Pantera.
Hold on, we missed Helmet, Milk Toast. I like Helmet.
Also a song on the jukebox at the pit.
But I'm just talking just the actual listening to this.
Yeah, the
it's
soundtrack.
Helmet. It's Helmet. Okay, it's like the Badge.
I saw them on this tour at a little club here in Nashville called 328 Performance Hall.
Another thing that's not around
Not
Nashville
there anymore.
Longer.
Thanks, New York and LA, for coming into town and screwing up a lot of our city. Yeah, I said it. Take it. I don't care.
The Badge, Pantera. I like Pantera. Not a big fan of the song.
Once again, I think it was a cover. I'm not sure.
It is. I can't remember.
And it was one of
now.
those background songs where you barely hear it.
Yes. Slip Slide Melting for Love Not Least. I like this.
I love this song.
Right. All right. After the Flesh, My Life of the Philco Cult,
which showed up in the
the movie. They're playing. This is who's playing
in the trash club when they're doing the big battle.
Okay. I have to say,
because
the live version that's happening down below, I like better than this recorded version.
I like them both. I liked it well enough that I actually went out and bought a bunch of their CDs.
I like these dudes.
I bought up everything I could find at CD Warehouse.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, see, this is
and
My Life of the Philco Cult's one of those bands that has existed on my periphery for years and years and years, and every once in a while they come closer into view. Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, I really like these guys, but then they kind of fade back out after a little bit.
They're kind of a mix between techno, punk, and heavy metal.
They've got that Ministry thing going on a little bit.
No, Ministry's they're kind of in the same category,
right?
But they're two different flavors of it, and depending on the day, I like one more than the other.
Okay, Snake Driver, the Jesus and Mary Chain.
Loved it. It was
good.
another. It was, yeah.
Now, Time Baby 3 by Medicine. Okay, this
It's
they're
another-
playing in the
another
club.
band in the
okay?
club.
And I really like the live version a whole lot more than I like this recorded version.
It's a better mix,
It
honestly.
is. They've got this weird thing that happens at the end of this song on this track
Yeah.
where there's another voice like
Yeah.
it's just like who said this was good? Who they need to go back and talk to whoever produced this and I mean it just And then you get to the cream of the crop.
Well, hold on. Going back to Time Baby 3, the mix that's in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons why I like it so much better is the guitar is further out front,
Yes.
and it's got that big, and it's not a Stratocaster. I think it may be a Jaguar.
He's playing a Jaguar. Yes.
Yeah, Jaguar. And it's got this great.
Jaguar.
It's got this great big jangly,
Yes,
nasty.
It does.
I
It
love
sounds
it.
good,
Yeah.
and it's also one of those things that this song is indicative of that mid '90s drone,
Yeah.
like female fronted drone alternative.
Yeah,
you know,
and then you've
it's
got the
like-
guy with the deeper
Yeah.
voice up underneath, kind of
exactly. You know,
echoing.
it's like okay, yeah. All right, and then we got Jill Siberry with "It Can't Rain All the Time,"
Yeah.
which is beautiful song. Beautiful song, and I don't know a whole lot about Jill Siberry. One of my exes was a big fan of hers, and this is 10-ish years ago, and and she I've heard some of her other stuff. It's different than this.
Well, yeah.
Not a big fan of it, to be honest, but it is one of those things that but yeah,
Well, it's another case of where they got a musician to come in and write a song
Right.
specific for the movie,
exactly.
and that song is probably going to be the better song of.
Yes.
It doesn't sound
And it is.
anything like anything they ever do.
Right.
The producer came in and went, "No, I need you to do this," you know,
And this song only appears during the credits.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that the way the movie ends, with him going back to the grave and Shelley's waiting for him, and all that kind of stuff, and then it goes to black and it says for Brandon
And Eliza.
for Brandon and Eliza, and this song starts playing, and it's perfect. I mean, it's like, wow, you could not have done a better job of kind of
Probably
stuff.
one of the first movies where I sat through the credits,
Oh, yeah.
so I could hear the end of
Yeah.
the song.
And then they play big empty plays after
Again,
it.
yeah.
Which you only hear it for a very small amount of time in
Name
the
the
movie.
scene.
Do what?
Name the scene.
They're driving. It's early. It's when they went to the arcade.
That when
They blew up the arcade.
games,
And they're driving through the city, and you hear it in the background. Yeah.
As they're driving past Maxi Dogs.
Yes, you hear it.
You hear it, and you hear the brakes screeching.
Mm-hmm.
The car slows down, and then you hear the tires peeling out.
Right.
And between that, you hear the big empty, and Albrecht goes, "Bad people on the streets
That's
tonight."
right. And then all of a sudden, boom. Yeah, great movie. There is a link between this movie and City of Angels.
There is actually there's two. There's two, and I think I'm the only one who really sees it.
The only one the Mia Kirshner plays a grown-up Sarah,
Yes.
and it's one of those things that she talks about Eric and Shelley at one point, like she's wearing their rings
Yeah.
around her neck, and it's like, oh, okay, that's they did that. Okay, what's the other one?
Now they've named the characters two different things,
Mm-hmm.
but if you start looking at it in the original, you see Micah has
Okay.
her eyes pecked out by the crow,
Right.
and she falls down the well where
Right.
the bell tower,
Mm-hmm.
but you never actually see her die.
Okay.
You just hear her fall and hit. Right?
Right. That's true. That's true.
City of Angels, the big bad, has a lady.
Right.
She's got her eyelids shut, and she's a prophetess.
Oh yeah, but
Now
she's got a different name though.
She's got a
doesn't she?
different
That's
name.
right. That's right. That's
But
right.
wouldn't it make sense for her to have changed her name?
Maybe. I don't know.
I may be starting some kind of
I
conspiracy
don't know.
theory
It
here.
might be. I would have to go back and watch it again, and I really don't want to.
I'll be honest with you. I think I bought the box set at one point. To where
Oh, yeah, I know they
it
got
had the original three,
Right.
which was The Crow, City of Angels, and whatever came
Salvation.
after. Salvation.
Yeah.
But to me, it would have been more interesting if they had actually had Micah show up in L.A. as that prophetess.
Yeah.
Because her eyes are sewn shut. Why are her eyes sewn shut?
That's true. Yeah, and like I said, I forgot about her. Like I said, it's been a long time since I saw the movie. I do remember like going to the theater the weekend it opened and being so excited for it,
and
just
walking
being
out
like,
completely and totally disappointed.
Bad. What did I just see?
Like wanted my money back.
Yeah, I mean, just it was that bad.
I was doubly upset because the novel they had written for the movie was excellent. So I was like doubly stoked. I was like, if the movie holds up to the book, this is going to be great.
Now, I will say that James O'Barr wrote some more stories afterwards that dealt with other people.
Yeah.
But he did write a couple of other stories that have Eric in them as well that take place after this. I have not read them. I can't give you any more. I do know they exist.
Yeah.
I remember in the after the movie came out, and
I think there's even like a female Crow at one point.
Yes, they did several miniseries in the mid '90s after the movie came out. And they all told different stories of people, and she was a police officer, and some stuff. 'Cause I remember reading, but I don't remember enough of them to tell you what they were all about, But yeah, they some of them were good, some of them not so good. It's just he didn't write all of them. But they had other people to write. He wrote the ones. I think he wrote the original one, like the original miniseries that they did after that. It was not Eric,
Yeah.
And then they had other writers who did the other ones, and then it's kind of bounced around a little bit here and there. And
I'm sorry, I hate when they have people come in.
I know.
Here's my take on it.
Yeah, but read the original. I'm leaving it for you to read.
I'm going to.
People who are listening, read. Go and read. You can get it. You can get it in a nice bound. It's got all four of them.
It's full, awesome graphic novel.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's really good. It's got. It's just. It has the 80s on it. No, it's not. It's got some of that. 80s aesthetic.
This one was put out by Kitchen Sink Press.
Yeah, it was originally on Caliber, if I'm not mistaken.
Sounds right.
And Kitchen Sink picked it up at some point. I think it was actually an Image for. It's moved around between several different.
I like the art.
Yeah, the art's really good.
It's definitely got that late 80s, early 90s vampire,
absolutely
goth feel to it.
But yeah, I think. Is there anything else you'd like to say about The Crow this evening? Because I think we've rambled. We were at an hour, so.
Well, should we talk about The Curse? Should we talk about the remake?
If you believe. Yeah, there's been talk of a remake / reboot / who knows for a while.
Since like 2001.
Yeah, back then I remember that they were going to do a reboot. 01, 02, somewhere in there. DMX was involved.
No, there was a. It started out with Rob Zombie.
Rob Zombie was wanting to do it.
Wanting to do The Crow 2037.
Yeah, something. And yeah, there was a Rob Zombie was involved at one point. Like I said, that DMX was involved at one point. He was going to play, and then they were going to take it in a different direction. And then that never got made. And then I know recently Jason Momoa was supposed to be The Crow, and he's pulled out of it. I don't know what's going on.
Well,
I'll tell you where I feel like. I don't have a problem if they go and they make another one. I would like for them to stay away from this story, though.
From Eric Draven.
Yes.
Yeah. Even the Momoa one was talking about doing a reboot.
I know.
And
it's
while
one of those things.
I like Jason Momoa.
I do, very much.
No one should touch the Eric Draven storyline again.
I tell you what, though, if they wanted to, there's one person. And I can't, the early 20-something me can't believe I'm saying this, but there is one person I would accept to play Eric Draven.
Am I going to end up slapping you over this?
Keanu Reeves. Yes, think about it, okay? The now Keanu, whatever age he is now, the late 40 something Keanu Reeves.
I think he's too dug into John Wick.
But that's the thing is you take a little bit of John Wick and a little bit of Neo and a little bit of whatever, and you get
leave Neo out of it.
The Neo from the first one. Okay. Admittedly, I'm not a huge fan of that movie. not even like the first one, but I think that
There
he
was
could
too much,
probably do it. Whoa, yeah, I know kung fu. Yeah, that I get it.
Yeah.
But I could see it. He's got that presence.
He does, but does he have the madness?
I don't know.
I mean,
As long as he doesn't have to be an FBI agent, it's fine. So
part of that, I mean, part of what made Brandon Lee good for this was the tragedy that he'd already been through with his own family
with his dad,
and the curse of that family
Right,
and all that,
right.
if you believe in that type of thing. So he already knew some of that pain.
right.
And if he could, if it was true that somebody had come through and killed his family, he already kind of knew, what that rage was about. Is that another tornado warning? Yeah. Oh, by the way, folks, it's a dark and stormy night here in Nashville, Tennessee.
I meant to say, when I was on the way up here, that went through my mind. I was like, we should probably use that. It was a dark and stormy night line.
Yeah, it's literally a dark and stormy night.
We've had tornado warning. I drove up to Dave's house, like literally through it, like past where there was tornado warnings. Like I saw the clouds, like oh yeah, that's it right over there. So
yeah, there's been lightning here. There's been drenched rain. It's almost
it's June in Tennessee, so what do you expect?
It kind of feels like we were supposed to be talking about The Crow tonight.
But yeah, I think we've kind of come to a good close on this.
Yeah,
I love the movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Admittedly, it's 90s is everything. It's mid 90s is everything. Some of the CGI is not that good, but it's a good watch. It's available on Netflix. I'm trying to think.
Netflix, Blu-ray.
Yeah, I've got it on Blu-ray because I still like tangible media.
I think they still sell physical. Physical media guy.
And that kind of
they
stuff.
They probably have a bigger box set now to where you can buy the original good one with the other terrible.
Who knows? Ones. But it's well worth. We're gonna, and so yeah, I guess that's it. We are going to be back at some point.
Episode 1.
This is episode 1. We're going to have some more.
We just got to get them recorded.
We got to get them recorded. If you'd like to correspond, we will add an email address or
this
something.
Is all very new.
Yes,
we're still kind of figuring out a little bit.
We're still trying to.
We'll get an email address set up. We'll get Facebook group set up.
Yeah, and all that stuff.
We'll do Twitter. We'll do Instagram.
Yeah,
maybe.
I guess I don't know if we can figure
that
out.
I'm more of a face for radio, but I'll take pictures of Alan if you really want to see him.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to. So, these days, you can see my beard.
Yep.
But yeah. So, anyways, thanks for listening to us babble for an hour. We will be back. Thanks.
I'm Dave,
and I'm Alan.
All right, thanks. Have a good one.
Project X.
X.